Hello, good evening, this is Diecast Luna. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to another episode of Vintage Matchbox Mondays, episode 41 of Vintage Matchbox Mondays. In this week's episode, we're going to be taking a look at some very cool Matchbox buses and coaches. Now, I'm not a particularly big fan of coaches specifically. I don't really go out of my way to collect coaches and stuff, but I do, excuse me, if I come across a decent Matchbox bus, I will pick it up, just because I collect most things Matchbox. Really, with the Matchbox hobby, it's in a way it's almost like it's separate to collecting diecast, because the real reason that I collect diecast, and what I know a lot of you out there collect diecast for, is because we're all into cars. But I found with the Matchbox rabbit hole, as I call it, going down the Matchbox rabbit hole, you end up collecting stuff that you're not particularly something that you're specifically into. But anyway, I will show some of the buses I've got. I have picked up a couple more pieces. That's what I picked up last week. I picked up a couple of buses from my favourite vintage diecast shop, as I thought they were in, well, something different basically. But anyway, less of the chat and we'll get straight into what I'm on about. So, this is probably the first bus that I had. Now, this ain't the exact one. This is another one from my very good friend Tyrone at Building the Ultimate Matchbox Collection. I think I was telling him one point or another that I think he was doing a video on some of his variations at one point, and I think I said I used to have some of these coaches when I was a kid, but I never really used to play with them. I think these are a lot of the ones I used to they used to get lobbed around the house and always a thing. They weren't specifically played with like they were like a lot of the other cars. And I have one of these in quite poor condition. It ain't this actual, it doesn't say Australia on it, but Tyrone sent me this all the way from Australia, and obviously it has Australia on it, so it is the Australian variation. Now, Matchbox made many variations and liveries. These are all airport coaches as far as I'm aware of. So there you go, Matchbox, super fast. I think it says number 65 aircraft. Can't see it, probably get a bit of a zoom in. Airport coach, there we go, made in Macau. It's 1977 was when it originally came out. But I have got somewhere my original one, but it is very beaten and I didn't bring it out for this video because I was just being lazy, couldn't be bothered to find it. But anyway, so he sent me this, as I used to have this exact same coach, but I think mine said British Airways on it or something. So that's where it started. So like I said, it's pretty cool, and it's that nostalgia thing. I had it as a kid, and now as an adult it's cool to have many variations of it. So that's from Tyrone. And then when I was out and about last week, like I said, I picked up cars for this week's episode in advance. I came across this. So this is the MB65 airport coach, and this is the exact one I had as a kid. Excuse me, my allergies are playing up a little bit. So this is obviously the one I got from the shop. You can see that could do a clicking in a bit better, but anyway, this is the same thing. This is the one I had with the British Airways, or it just says British on the side, sorry. But anyway, I got this, and again this one, there we go. So this one's a Lesney. There you go, exactly the same. Matchbox super fast, number 65 airport coach, made in England, all that good jazz. But that is the exact one I had. So as you can see, they are exactly the same, just other than where they're from. And it's got that typical retro 70s coloured glass. So pretty cool. And then, for the fun of it, I picked up this one. Now this one hasn't been opened, as you can see. It's just literally, so we will open it if I can find. There we go, so that's the first time it's been opened. Excuse me, as I said before, sometimes they've been opened. sometimes they haven't, but I just thought this was pretty cool. TWA. Now, I'm not up on my planes, but I think that stands for Trans World Atlantic America. Trans World, I'm not quite sure. Trans World America, I think. Correct me in the comments. Excuse me. Making a right mess today. So, I just thought this one was cool as it's a completely different colour. Again, exactly the same bus. And there we go. So again, exactly the same. Again, made in England, but it is in that orangey red. So pretty cool. I'm just looking at the wheel variations if the wheels are the same. So there we are. We've got 3 coaches. And so as I was saying, it's funny how you end up going down the rabbit hole and picking up more and more of the same type of thing, even if you're not particularly into this type of thing. You know, it's not what I'd normally go after. So basically, if this wasn't for it being Matchbox, I wouldn't necessarily get it. But they are pretty cool. They are pretty cool. So now I have 3 of the same, and I probably won't get any more variations, to be honest, as I think 3 is enough. Anyway, what is pretty cool is this. So this is obviously a greyhound coach. These do exist in America. I think they're still going to this day. I'm not quite sure, but I know they were. And there you go, made in England by Lesney, Matchbox Series number 66 coach. And this was the first one I came across, and for a long time I was after one of these. But these are fetching really good money in box condition. This is the one with the traditional standard wheels, or plain wheels they call it. And it's in pretty tatty condition, but it is there. And because of the colour of it, and because it has still got some of its original graphics on the side, I probably won't do nothing with this. Because I don't think it looks too bad. It would look alright on the shelf. But this is the first version of this one that Matchbox made, and I believe in 1966 it was continued on through 66, 7, 8 and 9, and then I think in about 1970 they brought out this variation. So this one's in amazing condition. I didn't pay a lot for this. I paid £2, which is amazing because these two, for some reason, these coaches are popular and they do fetch silly money. But this one, as I said, this is in lovely condition. Obviously has the first super fast wheels, as they are them skinny super fast wheels. There we go. So made in England by Lesney, Matchbox Series at number 66 at the coach. And again, they would have had to retool the base. But I do prefer this to the plain wheel version. It just sits a little better and looks a little bit more realistic, and obviously it does roll quite nice. But this is something that doesn't need restoring. Like I said, that was a very good find back when I found it. The windows are amazing, so that's a great find. So they are. So, and you can see just how nice the colour is on that. And this, like I said, this would have been from about 70, and then it was excuse me, carried on to about 71, and then that would have been phased out. And I think they still make it today. I know they do an orange version, and Matchbox do a more modern, similar shaped casting, but obviously isn't the same casting. But Matchbox do a modern interpretation of it. I think there's a couple of variations that Matchbox do. And anyway, the last, because they're coaches, this is the last one we're going to show. So this is pretty cool. So this is obviously for the Silver Jubilee. And box is in quite nice condition, and again I found this cheap, so I picked it up. I think I've got a red one somewhere, but there you go, is in fantastic condition. There you go, 52.77. I do apologise for this, I can't clear my throat, but it is in fantastic condition. And it should say Matchbox Super Fast. Can't quite see what it says. I've got light reflect. It's better. Number 17, I believe that says the Londoner, made in England, 1972. But again, this came in many different variations, reds, and had all different scripts on the top and said different things. But like I said, I'm not going to collect any more buses than I've probably got. I just liked this one, not specifically because it was the Jubilee bus, just because it is in such nice condition and it is a different colour to the normal. But anyway, so that is today's episode. Let's see if we can get them all into shot if we can. There are some different Matchbox coaches and a bus. And like I said, it's amazing. This is what Tyrone goes on about. It's amazing how you go down the rabbit hole. Like I said, I almost class the Matchbox as a separate hobby. You know, my main passion for die-cast cars, and what got me started, was as a youngster, I was lucky enough that someone near my house had a field full of American cars. And I got to, you know, sit in them and, excuse me, sit in them, play around in them, and it got my interest for them. And with all the TV shows back in the day, so my passion for collecting is to collect American cars. Most of my cars in my collection, 90% of my collection is American cars. I'm a big Plymouth Roadrunner fan and obviously all that type of stuff. But that aside, the Matchbox, it seems to be like, in my opinion, it's become like its own hobby, because I'm not just picking up the cars I like, I'm picking up different variations of what they made back in the day. But anyway, with that, please like, share, subscribe, stay tuned for more Vintage Matchbox Mondays episodes. Obviously stay tuned for Wednesday night Movie Car Mania episodes, and obviously Friday night customs. I think next time I do a Friday night custom, I just spin the camera around slightly. I'll be announcing the winner, funny enough, of that Plymouth Barracuda, sorry. And oh yeah, tomorrow I will be doing a green light unboxing and showing some green lights. So that should be interesting, so stay tuned for that. But anyway, with that, I'll see you all very soon. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.